Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. Your boy's back at it. You know what I'm saying? And it is time to talk Jets. We got a lot to discuss. A lot of things going on with the New York Jets, man. A lot of news has come about. The New York Jets had a Senior Bowl. They're looking at different guys. You know what I'm saying? A lot of players really putting on right now as well in the Senior Bowl. You got a lot of comments as well coming out of the Senior Bowl, particularly from Robert Saleh, Mekhi Becton, going to be competing for that left tackle position. You heard it right, competing for the starting job, all right? Not automatically going to be given to him. We'll be talking about that tonight. We'll also be talking about other things going on with the Jets roster. There's been a retirement. It's a lot of talk, a lot of things moving on the coaching staff as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Listen, I am the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search Long Beach Joe. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. So without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and get into the show. I am fired up. I'm fired up. All right? I'm fired up, man. You can also catch your boy on iTunes. Can you go on iTunes, please? Look up Long Beach Joe on iTunes, all right? Once you see that, click that subscribe button, follow your boy on iTunes, follow the podcast on there. Also, give me some feedback. You know what I'm saying? Give me some feedback. Give me a 5-star rating. Let me know what's going on. Let me know how you feel about the show. I want to thank everybody that does that. I'm also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. The show's page as well is at The Long Beach Joe. At The Long Beach Joe. You know what I'm saying? Go on over there. Follow both of those pages. Hit me up. Talk to me about everything. People hit me up about the Jets. They want to go back and forth. I'm on there. I'm all about that as well. And if you're listening to this voice, this great voice that I have, right, and you want to see this handsome face that is behind the voice, okay? I have a face made for TV, people, okay? All right? If you want to see me, come on over to YouTube. Go to YouTube. Type in Long Beach Joe Jets. Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. All right? Go there, subscribe. You'll see other content that I put up as well. But we live stream the radio show. We live stream the radio shows through YouTube. So if you want to catch the show live, if you want to be able to call in and talk to your boy live on the show, subscribe, hit that bell, turn on your notifications, and you'll get all of my content. You'll be in the know. When I post something, you will know what's going on. You will absolutely know. So, again, I want to thank everybody for hitting that up. And as well, please, if you'd like to as well, my link tree is posted all over the place. Salutes to all the savages. Hey, hit that link tree. Join my Discord as well. That keeps people in contact with me, too. You know what I'm saying? I got to put that out there. My mom's been getting after me. Hit my Discord, you know what I'm saying? Join my Discord. Become a part of what we're doing over there. We're having a lot of fun. We joke, we laugh, we go back and forth. You know, things are being posted all the time in there. Different people. Please hit that Discord link. Join my Discord. You know what I'm saying? Go in there and have some fun with everybody. So now with that put to the side, we have quite a bit to discuss, all right? We have quite a bit to discuss. There's been some movement along the New York Jets coaching staff. We're going to start with that. Okay, Matt Cavanaugh, as we all know, he was brought in to replace Greg Knapp. You know, once Greg Knapp passed away, untimely situation. Rest in peace to Coach Knapp. So he was the guy that kind of, you know, was brought in. He was the de facto kind of quarterbacks coach. The New York Jets are moving on from him. He will not be returning in 2022. And neither will John Beck as well. John Beck was also brought in. He was the guy that worked with Zach Wilson. That was Zach Wilson's personal coach. He worked with him directly. He won't be back as well. And they're going to increase the role of Rob Calabrese, and him and Mike LaFleur is going to be working with the QBs. So we'll see them, you know, intensely working with Zach Wilson. And I look at this situation and I say to myself, I think this is solid. This is a solid move for the Jets if they feel comfortable going forward with just those voices in the room. Now, they're still looking for a quality control guy, but if they feel like those two voices is what Zach Wilson needs, thumbs up, let's do it. I just want to make sure that we're doing what it takes to ensure that Zach Wilson is put in the best position to succeed. That's all I want. Now, I know there were some Jets fans that felt like they should have brought back John Beck, and that maybe, John Beck again, because John Beck is going to go into this offseason, he's going to work with Zach Wilson individually as well. He's not going to stop being his personal quarterbacks coach. But a lot of them were saying, well, why can't they just bring him back next season? And I was thinking, if the Jets do that, I could see the NFL going after them for trying to circumvent the CBA. Okay, because, again, if John Beck was a part of the Jets coaching staff, he would not be able to work with Zach Wilson in the offseason. He can't do that. He can only work with him in season if he's part of the staff. Well, if you let him walk and you allow him to train Zach Wilson in the offseason and then you bring him back and you sign him before the season starts, I could see the NFL knocking on the Jets' door immediately. That's just what happens to us. We've seen it before. There's other teams that can get away with stuff like that. We've seen that too, right? We've seen teams get away with different things around this league. But the Jets, I feel like we would not get away with something like that. So I think the New York Jets truly are just moving on from him. And, again, having Mike LaFleur and Rob Calabrese there, I think will be good to go. Because, again, Mike LaFleur, we've seen him be unbelievable. Booth LaFleur, that guy is undefeated. Okay? Booth LaFleur is one heck of a play caller, and he knows what he needs to know, and he can definitely, train up a QB. And it's big. It's very big, and I think a lot of Jets fans don't understand how big it is to have the right voices around a young quarterback, okay? Look no further than the New York Jets' issues grooming and maturing young quarterbacks. Look no further than that for that to explain to you what the issues were, because guess what? Not having the right, voices in a young quarterback's ear can send them down a really bad path. And we've seen that here with the Jets. Todd Bowles and Jeremy Bates. Sam Darnold was our franchise quarterback. He was everything. He fell to us in the draft. We got the guy, and we never gave him the right coaching. Started off Todd Bowles with a bunch of different offensive coordinators. Jeremy Bates was in that mix as well. We got rid of Todd Bowles and Jeremy Bates. Then we said, hey, we got to make sure that Sam has the right guy. We got to make sure that Sam is put in a position where he can succeed, that he has a coach that he can lean on when times get tough, that he can come in, be a young quarterback, and grow with, that he can come in and absolutely take Sam to the next level. And what we did was so egregious and so unbelievable that it collapsed this franchise damn near, okay? We brought in Adam Gase and Darrell Loggins to continue to move forward. My goodness. We brought in Adam Gase and Darrell Loggins. We handed our franchise crown jewel, okay? We handed, at the time, the guy that we thought was going to be leading us for the next 20 years, we handed Sam Darnold to those two coaches. Let's just call them that. We handed that to them. And that was one of the worst things we could have ever have done. There was no way that Sam Darnold was ever going to be successful with Adam Gase and Darrell Loggins. There was just no way. We killed any chance of him being successful here, any chance, by giving him those two guys to work with. Just egregious. Now, if you look at other places around this league, right, you don't even have to look outside of our division. You look at the Bills. What the Bills have done with Josh Allen, they've put the right guys around him. They've had the right coaching staff around him that's been able to work with him. From the time that Josh Allen has come into this league, there was a big question mark surrounding him, his accuracy, his footwork, all those things. Everybody said, hey, this kid has a howitzer of an arm. Oh, he can launch the football everywhere. But we don't know if it's going to get there accurately. We don't know where the football is going to go. Okay? But we know he can get it there. But it's all over the place. Well, guess what? They got guys to surround him to help him with his mechanics, to help him with his accuracy, to help him understanding the playbook, all those things to help him to put an offense around what he does best to fit his skill set. And boy, oh boy, did things turn around. Things turned around a lot for him. As a matter of fact, about two seasons ago, one season he went from a quarterback that was kind of to an MVP candidate. And if you asked him what changed, he will say, and he talked about it, the MVP candidate year, he said he turned the corner because he got with the right coaches. Again, they kept coaching him. He had the right coaches in his ear. He worked with his own personal QB coach. They helped him fix his mechanics. He started to understand the game a bit more, started to feel more comfortable and settled within the offense. They started putting things around him to help him as well, and then boom, it was a completely different quarterback. And now we see what Josh Allen is doing in this league. He's lighting folks up, okay? He played extremely well this year too, extremely well. They took a loss to the Chiefs now, but that wasn't because Josh Allen was playing bad. He did his thing. And they're going to be competing for years to come because of what they've done with Josh Allen. So I think that we have the right voices around Zach Wilson. I think we'll be okay. But I just want to show Jets fans the impact of that. I truly want to show the Jets fans the impact of having the right voices around our young quarterback here, Zach Wilson. It's huge. It truly is huge within the quarterback development. Now, next thing we're going to talk about, and then we're going to get to the lines again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in, taking all callers. We'll get to you folks in just a second. I just want to cover Mekhi Becton. Okay? Let me tell you something. This news came out, and it got pretty hot early, all right? Now, of course, Sulla, the staff and everybody's down there at the Senior Bowl, they're getting a good look at these young kids that's coming out, you know, from tight ends to offensive line. We're seeing a lot of things coming out of the practices. And Sulla was approached by the media, and they started talking to him about different things. And one of the things that he said is that Mekhi Becton is going to have to compete for the starting left tackle spot. Now, for some of you that don't remember Mekhi Becton, great left tackle that we drafted. First year, he was nicked up from time to time. He missed, I want to say, about 4 to maybe 5 games being nicked up. There was a lot of issues, There were some shoulder issues. He had some breathing issues in one game as well that sat him down. But let me tell you something. When Mekhi Becton was on the field, he was playing and healthy. That guy was elite. He was elite. Even a lot of these other, analysts, former offensive linemen as well, Damian Woody talked about him. That guy was playing at an unbelievable level. He truly was. And some people thought that year that he was the best offensive player that the New York Jets have. He was playing that dominantly. We saw him really put on against some of the best pass rushers in the league the year that he was healthy, or the year that he, when he was healthy and on the field that year. All right? That was big as well. But he missed, again, those games. The next year, this past year, we were hoping that he would come in. And a lot of people were saying the knock on Mekhi is we want to see him be healthy for a full year. That's what we want to see. If he can do that, man, we're going to be good to go. If he can stay healthy this full year, it's going to be good to go. Well, week 1, he gets Greg Van Roten thrown into the back of him, dislocates his kneecap, and that dream is done. That dream was done, all right? We were all hoping to see him come back. The timetable initially was somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks. That got extended. Seemed like the knee wasn't healing up well. He also had arthroscopic surgery as well to clean up some issues with the knee cartilage. And then the time just kept getting extended. We thought he would come back towards the end of the season. That never happened. He actually ended up, not playing at all for the rest of this season. Now, in the time that Mekhi Becton has not been playing, George Fant moved over to that left tackle spot. Morgan Moses took over the right tackle spot, which he initially got beat out for by George Fant. George Fant at the left tackle spot played solidly for us. He did. Played solidly this year. And Sulla, according to reports and everything he said during these interviews with the media, he feels like George Fant, that effort, all the things that he did this year shouldn't go to waste. That he should be able to step out there and, still be able to compete or play in that left tackle position. So he's going to have Mekhi Becton go out there and compete with him. And there's been a lot of rumors swirling as well There's been rumors swirling, and take these with a grain of salt. Take these with a grain of salt because, again, we know that nothing leaks out of the Jets facility. There's been rumors swirling that the New York Jets have been frustrated with Mekhi Becton because of, the way that the injury was handled. Some people, again, some of these rumors are saying that, he didn't rehab the way he should have, and that's what the issue was. Some people are also talking about his weight. His weight has been a big thing since we drafted him. Even before we drafted him, his weight was a big concern. But a lot of people have also constantly brought up his weight in the past. This last season coming into the season, or this last offseason coming into the season, a lot of people talked about his weight as well, but he was in shape. I know a lot of people just like to throw that out there, but he was in shape coming in this offseason. We saw videos, we saw pictures, we saw him walking around. He was more cut this year. He looked thinner and more in shape this year than he did his rookie year. So people constantly are talking about his weight, that his weight was an issue. That's a rumor swirling around there. There's a lot of things going on. But I'll tell you what, he's going to be competing according to Sella. I'm thinking that, again, I have no issues with competition at every position. No problem at all. Everybody should be fighting for a spot on this roster. Nothing should be guaranteed to anybody. So that I absolutely am with. I think that part of this was to light a fire under Mekhi Becton. I don't know if Sella is frustrated with him. I don't know if the franchise is frustrated with him. I don't know. But I think some of this was to light a fire under him, okay, for whatever reason. But let me tell you something. If Mekhi Becton is fully healthy, if he's fully healthy coming into this offseason, and they go into camp and do their things and they compete, I think hands down that Mekhi Becton is going to win the left tackle position. I'm just being completely honest. And we're going to talk about that tonight. I think that Mekhi Becton, when fully healthy, is an elite left tackle in this league. He truly is. And I think he'll win the left tackle position. And George Fant will be right back at left tackle. But again, rumors are swirling, and according to Tony Pauline, some of his, sources have said that the New York Jets have told George Fant that the left tackle position is his job to lose. That's according to Tony Pauline. He said that the left tackle position is George Fant's job to lose, and also the New York Jets are looking to extend George Fant as well because after this year his deal is up. So there's a lot of things swirling, a lot of rumors swirling. We're going to talk about that again. Call in 515-602-9639. Call in. We are taking all callers. We're going to be talking about the offensive line tonight as well. For sure we're going to be talking about my dude Elijah Vera-Tucker. You know what I'm saying? Not that I'm a homer. I'm just saying if you need a lineman, go to USC. That's all I'm saying. Just go to USC. You need a lineman, go to USC. Everything will be taken care of. You ain't going to have to worry about too much. You know what I mean? Everything will get fleshed out. You won't have no issues. They take care of business. So salute to all the savages in the chat. We'll come to you as well if y'all got questions. Salute to my guys, Straight 100 Jets, J. Cole, Shonen King, Kevin Ramos. You know what I'm saying? All my guys, NY Jets FL, salutes to you as well. Jay Johnson, what's good? All my savages, all right? Y'all want to know why I call them savages? Because they are savage. Nobody is safe, not even me. Not even me. So now we're going to get to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. First, I want to go to, I think it's my guy, Jacob. Jacob, we're coming directly to you. D. Rusty Steve, hold on a second. We'll get to all of y'all. I'm going to my guy, Jacob, first. You know what I'm saying? Because this guy knows what's going on. Jacob, salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Jacob, give me your thoughts, man. Mekhi Becton competing for a left tackle position. What do you think that this is all about, man? Do you think Sella is just trying to light a fire under him? Do you feel like the franchise is kind of, upset with him? What do you think is going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, Joe? Nice to talk to you again. And I think it's definitely like what you were saying, just trying to light a little bit of a fire under him to sort of give him a sense of urgency, like, all right, I got to, I really have to come back now and play better than I did before because according to what everyone's saying, this is not my job to lose anymore. It's George Fant. And so at the end of the day, I think if he is healthy, I think he will end up winning that starting job. But I mean, I guess you never really know. If George Fant really outperforms him in training camp and everything, then you got to give it to the best, whoever the best man is, you got to give it to him. And George Fant obviously had a phenomenal year. And so if it ends up being him who is the better left tackle, then, I mean, whoever they feel like is going to give us the best chance to win and the best, protection for Zach Wilson on the left side, I'm totally good with whoever that is who ends up being that better guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with that as well, whoever wins it. But for me, I think that if Mekhi Becton is healthy, I think he takes the left tackle position. What do you think about that, man? Do you think that George Fant could actually beat out Mekhi Becton and keep the starting position there?
It's really tough. I feel like there really is a shot because George Fant, people aren't talking about it enough. He had a phenomenal season. I was surprised, I would go as far to say I was surprised he didn't get, any second-team All-Pro votes at all because he was, that good if you look at the grades, for him, both pass and run blocking. He was phenomenal. So there's obviously a chance, but I don't see him losing his spot on the O-line, as a guarantee. But, at the end of the day, I do think Mekhi Becton's going to end up being the left tackle. But if we end up drafting an Evan Neal or a Ken McQuanu, then it gets really interesting about who's going to play left tackle, who's going to play right tackle, and then does the third guy slide into right guard? Do they ride the bench? What's it going to be like then?
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting as well. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But you talked a little bit about other positions on the offensive line as well. And I think for me, a big spot that I think people are looking at is right guard because there's such a question mark there, especially with Cam Clark retiring due to his injury. What are your thoughts about him retiring, and how do you think the New York Jets are going to shore that right guard position up? Do you think they go in free agency? Do you think that they'll, try to shore it up in the draft? What do you think they do there?
Yeah, first of all, I'm glad to hear Cameron Clark's doing okay and that he's, I totally get him having a retired neck injury, arguably the most serious injury in football. When it comes to, risking a chance of being able to walk again, I would say that's a pretty good reason to retire. I'm just glad to hear he's okay and that, nothing too serious happened to him, and I'm wishing him all the best, in the future. But, for me, for the right guard, my gut is telling me that it's going to be somebody in free agency just because, we have a lot of money to spend, and I feel like Joe Douglas is going to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, do I know who that guy is going to be? No, I don't. But, if it does happen in the draft, I could see it being in maybe the second round if, a Kenyon Green falls to the second round, which I think is highly unlikely. But if that, were to happen, then I could see that happening, or just somebody on, middle of day 2, maybe day 3, being a depth guy there. But I really feel like the starting right guard is going to be somebody we sign in free agency.
So when you look at, because you talked about free agency, and I think that there's some guys that could be out there as well that could fill that right guard position. And one of those guys that a lot of people are talking about is Brandon Sheriff. What are your thoughts about him? Is that a guy that you think the New York Jets should be interested in bringing in?
To be honest, I don't know too much about him. I know he's a fantastic guard, but I'm not really sure what his situation is looking like in terms of age, because if he's on the older side of 30, probably not going to happen for us as a rebuilding team. We're not trying to bring in guys who are on, the upper side of 30. But, I mean, if the right fit and we can get him for the right price, I know he's a very, very good guard, and I would have no complaints bringing him in. I think, really, if we can get a healthy Mekhi Becton plus getting a guy like Brandon Sheriff in there, I mean, we're talking about one of the better O-lines in the league, I feel like, in just 3 years of having Joe Douglas. So I wouldn't have any complaints about that. I feel like another guy who we could maybe see is if we were to draft Tyler Linderbaum and we wanted to move Connor McGovern to right guard, I could definitely see that because he did play right guard and more of his time in Denver on the Broncos. He didn't really play center that much. So I could definitely see that as a possibility as well because, Joe Douglas is a big trench guy. He loves to go in the trenches with some of his draft picks in the earlier rounds. So I could definitely see that as another possibility. There's a lot of different possibilities. So, I trust them to make the right decision there.
Yeah, I do as well. And again, Brandon Sheriff is a guy. He's 30 at this time. I think he might be 31 by the time the season starts or gets underway. But he's a guy that I could see the New York Jets bringing in, but he does have an injury history. That's what he does have. So kind of got to be aware of that because we're dealing with these, other issues as well. People are banging on Mekhi Becton constantly, again, even though Greg Van Roten got thrown into the back of him this year. But again, like you said as well, there's some guys, and I talked about that too, drafting Tyler Linderbaum and moving Connor McGovern over to right guard, I think for us would be a solid move because, again, I don't know where people got this whole I don't know where people got this whole that that Connor McGovern was a top 10 center. I don't know where people got that or what's
I'm not
going
sure
on.
what
I know there's a lot of
watching.
I don't get it. It's just like if you're telling me that Connor McGovern's a top 10 center, but we have the 27th ranked rushing offense in this league, something's not adding up here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying,
if Connor
not
McGovern's
adding up,
a top 10 center, then I can go in there and be a top 15 center.
But, and I respect everybody, but it's just like, something's going on here. You got George Fant on the left side. He plays solidly. You got Elijah Vera Tucker, who's very good. And then you got Connor McGovern, that you guys are saying a top 10 center, but we've only had a 100-yard rusher once this season. Something's off here. Something's going on. So, for me, it's like, that situation needs to be addressed there. And I think moving him over into guard, like you said as well, because that was one of the things that was talked about when Connor McGovern was brought in was his versatility. He could play guard, right guard, and center. So I think that's something we need to do as well. Now, for you, when you look at this offensive line too, what do you think is the strong point of this offensive line? What do you think is the strongest position on this offensive line?
It's going to be between a healthy Mekhi Becton and Elijah Vera Tucker. Elijah Vera Tucker is phenomenal this season. I'm so happy with that pick. I think you could argue he was the second best rookie offensive lineman this year behind Creed Humphrey, who was another guy who I wanted them to draft last year, but obviously didn't happen. But, I mean, Elijah Vera Tucker was phenomenal. He didn't get hurt, so he stayed on the field, played phenomenal at left guard, and he looked like a veteran out there. So I'm very, very pleased with both healthy Mekhi Becton and Elijah Vera Tucker, and along with George Fant. George Fant had a great year too.
Yeah, he did. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with Zach Wilson. There's some coaching staff changes that's been going on as well that's going to affect him. What are your thoughts about the New York Jets letting Matt Cavanaugh and John Beck, walk off into the sunset, and then going forward with Rob Calabrese and Mike LaFleur just kind of being the guys dealing with Zach Wilson and his development? Are you all right with that?
Yeah, you were talking a little bit about how it didn't seem like we really had a choice with John Beck. It's like he could get in some serious trouble, which I'm not really aware of how those rules work. I'm not much of an expert when it comes to that field. So I guess that's good to know because I was questioning a little bit why not bring him back. He seems like he can only help Zach Wilson's cause, but if that's one of the rules, then I see why we're not bringing him back. But, I do have trust in Mike LaFleur now. At the beginning of the year, it was a little sketchy because, down on the field, Mike LaFleur was clearly a different coach and coordinator than Booth Mike LaFleur. I don't know what that has to do with, but I was a little skeptical of him at first. But, in the second half of the year, I thought his play calling was a lot better. And it, translated to the game. Zach Wilson didn't turn the ball over nearly as much. We were having success keeping up with some of the better teams in the league. Nobody's really talking about it. I know we only had 4 wins this year, but 2 of them were against the number 1 seed in the AFC and the AFC champions. So that's something to look forward to, as well. I think I do have trust in Mike LaFleur and Rob Calabrese going forward, and I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I do as well. Again, like you said, I think Mike LaFleur and Rob Calabrese being in there, I think it's going to be big for Zach Wilson. Not too many, voices in the room. They're going to be able to really lock in this year and, help him take the big step forward that we all want to see him take. I truly think that. I think he's gotten, like you said as well, towards the end of the season, we saw him get really comfortable within the offense, and we started to see more and more flashes. We started to see a lot of him taking care of the ball better as well. I don't think he had an interception in the last, 5 games, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah.
4 or 5 games. Yeah, something like that, the last game. And that's big because, again, he's a young guy still trying to feel his way out. And I think next year is going to be the year where we really see him take a step forward. And we've seen the flashes. He's got the arm. You know, he can move. We saw him move outside the pocket, evade rushers, all kind of things. We just need to see him, put things together a bit more. And I thought we started to see that going towards the end of the season. Now, my final question for you, Jacob, before I let you go is, Tom Brady officially retires. Are you happy that guy's out of the league and him torturing the Jets is over? That's over, man. No longer will he have access to our mentals. He is gone. Are you happy about it?
Hey, I got to tell you, when, just thinking about it over the past however many years where people are thinking like, it's got to be soon. I don't know if he's going to play another year. He could play 5 more years, whatever. I thought it was going to be a lot more exciting for me. And, as happy as I am that, we don't have to deal with him anymore, as a fan of football, as much as I disliked him on the Patriots, the game of football is not the same without him on the field. It's just not. He's, I mean, as much as I hate to say it because, I just so hate Patriots players, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Undoubtedly the greatest quarterback of all time. There's really no argument to be made. But, I guess we can now say we really have a chance to win the Super Bowl in a way without him getting in our way anymore, which, who knows how long until we even get there. But, now when we do get there at some point, we know we're not going to have to go through him anymore, which I guess is a positive thing.
Yeah. I'm look, I remember it like it was yesterday, watching Mo Lewis, hit Bledsoe. And I, at the time, was like, wow, good hit, Mo. But let me tell you, that opened up a reign of terror and just things driving me mad. The Patriots, just all the things that Tom Brady was able to do with them. And then to watch him go on and win with the Bucs, it was like, wow, this guy he doesn't take L, He just keeps moving, keeps winning, keeps doing his thing. And I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I wasn't alive when that hit happened.
Oh, it was so brutal. Jacob, let me tell you something. Watching it, it was like, wow, that was a good hit there. But the years to follow were brutal.
Are you regretting
those? They were brutal. Oh, was I? Was I regretting them? It was bad. But listen, Jacob, I want to thank you for calling in. It was a great time speaking to you. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, all right, my friend?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, you have a good one.
All right, you too.
Listen, Jacob calling in, man. We're going to be talking about that as well. Tom Brady officially retires. Jeez Louise. Oh, that was a long, miserable time dealing with him in the AFC East. Oh, it was awful. I'm telling you, it was awful, man. The Super Bowls, the Belichick, and the offenses, and him just being able to do whatever with nobody. I mean, it's the quick throws, never being able to get to him just having our number constantly, man. Oh, that was so bad for him. I wish him nothing but the best. Tom is a great quarterback, There was a lot of other things that went on as well, cheating scandals, deflate gates. Yeah, we all know about those things. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna not talk about those, but he dominated the AFC East for years, division title after division title. It was awful, man. It was awful. I'm so glad to see him gone. Next, we need Belichick to get out of here, and then things will really start looking good for us. So we're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. We're talking offensive line. We're talking Zach Wilson. We're talking Joe Douglas. We're talking free agency. We're talking about it all. Next, I'm going to my guy, D. I think this is my guy, D, from Brooklyn. D, salutes to you, my man. How are you feeling tonight? Give me your thoughts about Mekhi Becton competing for this left tackle position, man. What do you make of this? What do you make of this, D?
What's good, Big Joe?
What's going on, man?
Oh, you said from Brooklyn. I was like, oh, it must be another D because I'm from the Bronx.
Oh, my bad. Whoa, my bad. Whoa. Hold on. Wait a second, because I know how you get.
What more do you want from me?
I don't want no issues. Let me back that up. Let me slow up. Let me pump my brakes. You know what I'm saying? I'm going too fast. Let me reintroduce you. This is my guy, D, from the Bronx. Okay? All right, listen, Brooklyn dudes, don't come after me. Bronx guys, don't come after me. You know what I'm saying? I already know what it's like. I got homeboys in Harlem. You know what I'm saying? I don't want no issues, all right? Baby, I don't want no issues, all right? This is my guy, D, from the Bronx. Salutes to you, D. I want to thank you for calling in. Give me your spiel. Give me your thoughts about what's going on with Mekhi Becton right now, man.
I mean, they got to leave Mekhi alone, man. They got to leave him alone. I think he'll be all right. It's good that they put the pressure on him. But come on, this Fant had a half of a good season. All of a sudden, they want to extend him? No. Mekhi should be starting. Hopefully, if he come in shape, but I'm glad they did what they did, threatening him, threatening his position.
I look at it like this as well, and we talked about it. It's competition in every position. I understand that. I get it. I'm with it. I think that there's a lot of things, especially a lot of people in the fan base that I think are going really hard on Mekhi Becton right now about the injury stuff. Again, that getting Greg Van Roten thrown into the back of you would hurt you as well. You know what I'm saying? That would hurt anybody. But I didn't
understand how Van Roten
just reassert himself. Go ahead.
I didn't understand how Van Roten got thrown from the right side to the left side anyway.
Man,
terrible.
Listen, Van Roten is awful. Okay, he was awful, and I'm glad that we're going to move on from him and not have him playing. But again, Beck, going back to Becton, I think that him competing for the left tackle position, if he's healthy, I think he takes it. I truly do, and it's no disrespect to George Fant. I just think that Mekhi Becton is just that good of a left tackle. He's unbelievable there, man. So I look at it like that's what he do there. Now, when you look at Cam Clark is out of here now due to his injury. He's decided to hang it up and retire. What are your thoughts about him in this right guard position now that's really wide open? It's a question mark there. A lot of people had Cam Clark kind of picked to take that right guard position this upcoming season. Now that he's gone, what do you think the New York Jets do there, man?
Honestly, I'm looking at the free agent list. I think Sheriff, he'll get too much money. He's always injured. That's for one. But take a look at the Daniels from Chicago is a free agent, and I think he's really good. I think he's really good. If we have to overspend for him a little bit, I think he'll be there for the taking. Daniels from Chicago. He's a mauler too. He's a mauler in the run game.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're talking about is it James Daniels, I think it is? James Daniels?
Yeah, James Daniels, I think it's
Yeah, he's a guy, that we could definitely plug in. Again, there's a big question mark there at right guard, so we can do whatever we want there to try to solve it. I think one of the big things, too, is looking at the draft as well. There's a lot of talk about taking guys high in the draft and moving them around. I want to get your thoughts on this. I was big on taking Linderbaum and then moving Connor McGovern to guard. Is that something that you would be interested as well?
I like Linderbaum. I don't. You know what? The Giants scare me. I think the Giants are going to take him, and they pick right after us twice. So even if the Giants pick somebody on defense, I think they're going to go get Linderbaum. If Linderbaum is there at 10, I would draft him. Anytime we had a decent center, the Jets are always good every time. And Mangold, anytime we had a good center, and I think he's going to be a great center, you put him next to a guard like Barrett Tucker, and then you go out and get the Daniels or even Sheriff, and then Mekhi comes back strong, I'm sorry, but whoever the running back's going to have a nice year.
Yeah, He is. You got to factor. Now, when you look at other parts of this offensive line as well, the right tackle position, again, whoever's going to win that left tackle position, whoever's not going to win it, is clearly going to slide over. I think it's going to be George Fant. But when you look at other guys that are going in free agency, Morgan Moses is a guy that could be out there as well. Would you like the New York Jets to try to re-sign Morgan Moses for depth purposes?
He played decent last year. I don't think he played decent. I don't think he did anything that wowed me. That'd be like, oh no, we got to re-sign him again. I don't. And plus, he's probably going to demand some money. So I don't know. I think I would look elsewhere, to be honest. I think he played decent, but I think I would look elsewhere. I seen him getting pushed around a few games. I'm like, wait a minute. We didn't pay you for this. We did not pay to be on skates. We did not pay you to be on skates, brother.
Yeah, don't listen. I hear you. Now we're also talking about the quarterback position tonight, which is huge for us as well. We've made some changes. We've let Matt Cavanaugh, John Beck, they're walking into the sunset. They're not going to be back with the New York Jets in 2022. What are your thoughts about what the New York Jets have now surrounded Zach Wilson with from a coaching standpoint to help him? Do you think that Mike LaFleur and Rob Calabrese are up to the task to helping this young guy grow and mature within his system?
I don't know. I got to give LaFleur got to get another year, and he better not be nowhere near that field. You keep your behind up there in the booth and call them plays. Because when he was on the field, I don't know if he was sipping a little something, but them plays were terrible. It almost reminded me of that last guy. I don't want to say his name. That last
Don't.
guy.
Don't. Let's not talk about that guy.
We won't talk about that guy. But I tell you what, until he went upstairs in the booth, I thought we was going to see a bunch of fullback up the gut. So that was terrible play calling. I think honestly, receiver-wise, we need to add some people because we're about to lose some people.
Yeah. I think there's definitely going to be some room for that. And again, there's guys in free agency that we could attack. There's a lot of talk about possible guys that could be out there. DK Metcalf has been brought up, but there's also some guys in the draft as well. Williams. People have talked about Drake London. I've talked about Drake London. I know there's a lot of Jets haters out there on Twitter, Jets Twitter haters that don't like Drake London, talking about he can't get separation. You guys got to stop. I heard a lot of people saying the same thing about Justin Jefferson a couple, drafts ago as well, and we see how he's flourished. Drake London can get separation. Please stop saying that he can't. And he goes up and gets the ball. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying the kid's phenomenal. That's all I'm saying. But you're completely correct. You do need weapons there.
Yeah. I think we need a big body. I wouldn't mind. I like him. I wouldn't mind having a 6'5" receiver in the goal line. It makes things a lot easier when you can throw it up and know your receiver's going to come down with it. But I'm tell you what, if Traylon Burks is there at 10, man, if you watch his highlights, I'm telling you, man, I think this guy's going to run maybe a 4.3, 4.4, 4.3 in that range at 225, 6'3". And if we draft him, we're going to have a 6'3" receiver on one side. I mean, that's a burner. We're going to have this man in the slot who's also a burner. And then you got the other guy, another 6'3" receiver that you can actually throw it up to when we in the goal line, and he'll go get it. Now we add a tight end in the draft. I think Traylon Burks. I like that guy.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of weapons and options that are going to be out there, D. So listen, let me get my final question before I let you go, my friend. Give me your thoughts about Tom Brady officially retiring. How do you feel, man? Are you feeling good about it?
Bye bye. And if Belichick can go, open the door for Belichick, and if he can go right with you, bye too.
That's what I'm talking about. It's about that time. Goodbye. Hopefully to both of us. Salute to you, D. I want to thank you for calling in. I got to get to these callers. You have yourself a good night, my friend.
All right, man. You too. Go Jets.
All right, go Jets. Yeah. listen, if Belichick would like to go, maybe after next year. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have no problem with that either. Goodbye to both of you. But salutes to my guy, Smoking J Cut Fan, for the big donation. I said salutes to my guy, Smoking J Cut Fan, with the big donation. Smoking J says, pair character doing a shaka sign with the hand saying cool. You know what I'm saying? He had to, I don't know, he just had to give us his little thoughts. Again, salutes to Smoking J with the big donation. Salutes to him. We're going to get back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all callers. Next, I'm going to my guy, Rusty. You know what I'm saying? This guy knows his Jets. Salute to you, Rusty. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Listen, Rusty, we've been talking Mekhi Becton, man. Do you feel like Jets fans do you feel like Mekhi Becton deserves some of the hate that he's gotten from Jets fans about him not being able to stay healthy? Do you think that that's something that's real?
What's up, Joe? Hey, Savages. Well, I mean, I don't know. Everybody always they're freaking out way too soon. It's my guy, Mekhi, crying out loud. So he's good. And as far as his weight type of thing, that's nonsense. It's ridiculous with like the beat and all of them. There's a thing going around, hashtag boycott the beat, and I'm happy about that because it's just utter nonsense, the stuff they spill and try and put on our team. But as far as the competition, him and Fant, I definitely see you got to battle it out. But for the love of God, don't put Fant at right tackle if you want Zach to not be in the ER or comatose or something, because that's no bueno. That is not good. That's not good. I mean, too, at the Senior Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised if JD was looking really, really heavy at Big Nasty, the kid from UNI, Trevor Penning. Yeah. And he's a maniac, man. He's a left tackle, legit right guard also. He can switch it. And then Zion, he's a right guard, and they got him doing center. God only knows. And then they said, too, that they were looking deeply into McCreary. They were loving him at cornerback. And then also that, my sleeper, I love, to replace if Berrios wants to play games. And, if Crowder decides to go, the kid from UCLA, Kyle Phillips. We already have two Michael Carters and everybody with double names. We might as well do, double up and get another Kyle Phillips, and the kid's nasty too. But that's what I'm feeling. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, dude, there's so many options, but when you look at this Jets offensive line, like you said as well, there's a lot of talk about Mekhi Becton. I know he's just sitting back right now and he's listening to it. I'm telling you, if he's healthy, he's going to come out and really show people this season yet again what he's all about. Because, dude, when he's on the field, he's unbelievable. He's elite. Like, we saw him literally.
Yeah, he's my guy, Mekhi. He's awesome.
Exactly. Big, elite guy. I mean, he's pancaking guys. He's manhandling people. It's insane. But there's other positions along our offensive line that I think need help. And I want to get your thoughts on this. You look at this line, man. What do you think is our weakest position at this point? What is a part of the offensive line that you look at and you're like, there's a big question mark there?
It's corny and cheesy in a way, but it's three. It's weird, man. It's the center, right guard, right tackle. It's that one wing. We got the left wing basically good, because you can flip flop between, thank God, Fant and Mekhi, and then we got our dude from USC, who I do like. That's one USC guy I do like. So there you go. I love him actually. I don't like him. I love AVT, but
you should like him all.
Oh yeah. I love Sanchez. He was terrific. And same with that guy. What was his name? Donald Tom or something? Sam.
Come on.
Can't remember his name.
Listen. Let's not bring up.
I love you, Joe. All respect. I love you.
It's
the devil's lettuce, not crack, by the way. It's the devil's lettuce.
Well, all right, well, you're smoking that too. Just stop. You know what I'm saying? Can we stop bringing up old stuff around here? Can we just talk about positivity?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, no, listen, I hear you. There's definitely some things that need to be addressed, like you said as well. The center position, I think a lot of people, listen, Connor McGovern, I'm not saying he's the worst of the worst, but let's not say that he's a top 10 center in this league.
Heck
That's just not
I don't
true.
know how that happened. Math lucked out in his benefit on that one. Honestly, it really did. It just did some, weird, planets align type of thing, some galaxies, black holes, who knows, and things happen, and it's like, oh my God, I wound up at 10? All right, I'll take it. Yeah, see? It's like, oh God.
No,
all right.
When you look at, because we were just talking about, center being an issue, you talked about right guard being an issue. When you look at the right guard position, there's some things that could, kind of solve that there. There's guys out there in free agency that we could look at. I know that, the last caller talked about James Daniels, from Chicago.
My dude from Brooklyn, from the Bronx. I was liking that.
From the Bronx.
Definitely not Sheriff. Definitely not Sheriff. He's got more holes in Swiss cheese and, injured. Well, not holes, I should say. I don't think he's ever played a full season, honest to God. And if he did, probably one. I don't think I could ever remember of him, and I was looking over it because we desperately need the right side. Doesn't matter if it's right guard or right tackle, really. And I wonder if they switch Mekhi to right tackle, if they're like, all right, we can't do it with Fant because he's like just swinging a feather pillow around. He's, night and day over on the left side. It's on, it's really, if you're going to be, bad or good, I guarantee, thank God, at least you're good at something with us. But, so I don't know. That's weird pendulum.
Looking at the right guard position there that way, would you be open to taking Linderbaum early in the draft and then moving Connor McGovern to right guard? Would that be something that you would be interested in?
Not like that. I mean, the one dude that I think is a must for us in the first is Nakobe Dean. I honestly got, because we're not. There's no way we're gonna get Hutch and Thibodeau. He just reminds me of Clowney in a way. He just takes plays off, and I don't even care. Whatever. I hate Bama too. So whatever you said about Bama is Bama. But I just don't like that playoff thing. That drives me insane. I'd rather take a guy that just wants to eat crow every single play and just knows that eventually it's going to happen, because eventually it does, Keep on chopping a tree. Eventually something's going to happen. It's going to fall or crack or something. So.
Yeah. Now, when you look at this offensive line position as well, there's still some guys floating that are going in free agency too. LDT is one of those guys. There's some Jets fans saying, hey, maybe we should sign him and give him another crack there at right guard. He played all right. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the doctor. He's great. I just don't know what's going up with him in Canada. So I don't know if he wants to go back and do his practice there. I don't know, with everything that's going on. I don't know what he wants to do, if he even can get a work visa again here in the States. I don't know what's going on. But I would definitely love to have him. He's a good puzzle piece. He just does his job. That's all you can ask for. It's just good. Just, thumbs up, buddy. He doesn't do too much. He doesn't fail enough to be where his name, and he's not too great to where you're cheering his name. You just don't really talk about him during the game, and that's a good thing to me. And that just all right, you're not saying anything about him, and then afterwards you're like, oh, good. Then we talk about him, but we're not really talking about them. If that makes sense to you. I'm trying.
No, listen, I hear you.
It's Friday. It's been a long week.
There's a lot of things that we can do to kind of shore up this right guard position. Again, with all the capital and things that we have, I think is going to be huge. Now, my final question for you before I let you go, my man, is what are you thinking about what's going on with Zach Wilson right now and some of the coaches that we have surrounding him at this point? Rob Calabrese, Mike LaFleur, what we're going forward with. Do you think that that's going to be a solid set of guys to help propel Zach Wilson to the next level?
I can't stand Kavanaugh. I'm so happy about that, and I honestly hope if they're going to bring somebody in, I would sign Alex Smith to a coaching type of thing. Honestly, he's one of those dudes that knows how to do it. He can show the craft. Look where he's been, and look at what he did to quarterbacks that really weren't too good. And when you were, looking back at Mahomes, I didn't think Mahomes was going to do anything like he did. In college, he was just like terrible. Yeah, he had the crazy cannon, but he would always get interceptions. You know, he wasn't reading that good. And, you know, what Andy Reid and help with Alex Smith, crazy creature of a human being just doing what he does. It's insane.
Man.
That's how I look at it.
Yep. No, listen, having the right guys
Texas Tech
around
scared me.
It's huge. Yeah, having the right guys around you, especially as a young quarterback in this league, is gigantic. And, again, I think a lot of Jets fans aren't talking about that, but we've seen it. We've seen quarterbacks go to places. Hell, look at Mac Jones. Look at him. I mean, this guy is being
done though
to the moon.
I'm telling you,
it's insane.
He's going to go down. Because, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I see it because Daniels is gone. He's a Raider, and Belichick's ego is shot down to what Buffalo did to him, and Tom Brady winning a ring, you know, when he left immediately. But that was an ego shot. I think Bill is retiring after next year. I do. Rusty said it.
Oh.
I'll stick to it.
I mean,
I think they're going 7-10 at best this year as the Patriots.
All right. Listen, I tell people this all the time. Everyone says stuff about the Patriots. First off, generally, Patriots assistant coaches, they don't do very well generally when they go other places. We've seen most of them go somewhere and completely bust out and fail. That's one. Two, everybody talks about how once a guy leaves, I remember when Josh Daniels left the first time, people were like, this is going to be a huge hit to the Patriots. And they just call up the next coach, and he fills in, and he coaches pretty damn well, too.
But at that time, that's true.
When Tom Brady went down one year, I remember people were like, the Patriots are done. They called Matt Castle up, and guess what? He came in. He had 300-yard games back-to-back. He was lighting people up. I'm telling you, that's just how the Patriots work, especially when they're going through a rebuild right now as well. Go ahead.
Understandably, but, too, at the same time, exactly how you said, when Tom wasn't there, you know, when he got injured for that season, I think they went like 11-5 or something when Castle was in, they didn't even make the playoffs. That was great. But Brady was still there in like his ear in a way, and Daniels was on the field. And then when Daniels left, Belichick still had Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Now both of them are gone, like gone. So now we're going to see. He's going to be back to when he was with the Cleveland Steamers, and they were no good. You know, they were not good at all. He has a losing record when he's without Tom Brady. It's true.
Well,
it's true. It's damn true from Kurt Angle himself. So, yeah.
Well, we'll see. You have yourself a good one, Rusty. I got to get back to these lines, man. Thank you for calling in. Next time I show, I want to hear.
Have a great one. Absolutely,
right, have a great one.
Have a good one, bro. Bye-bye.
Listen, Rusty calling in, he knows his Jets. You know what I'm saying? I respect Rusty left and right. I mean, he gives us some solid takes. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Wherever you're watching me from, please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not subscribed, and also hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. If you'd like to give to the platform, the Super Chat is there. Please give if you'd like to. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated. If you don't want to hit the Super Chat, hey, my Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Some people say, we want to go to the Cash App, Joe. There it is right there at the bottom of the screen. You can give to the Cash App right there anytime you like, all right? And, again, anything you give is greatly appreciated, all right? So we're going to keep getting to these lines again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. Next, I'm going to my guy, Mickey. Bill, Steve will come to you next. Mickey, salute to you. I want to thank you for calling in, my friend. Listen, there's a lot to talk about, Mickey. Mekhi Becton, the heat's turning up from a lot of people in the fan base. They're getting on top of him for, according to rumors, being overweight and him not being healthy. And now you got Sulla coming out, and he said, hey, Mekhi Becton is going to be competing for the starting left tackle position. It's not going to be his just to walk into. Give me your thoughts about this, man. How are you feeling about this, Nick?
All right, so first things first, I got to tell you this quick story because you're not going to believe it. so why not throw it out there? Before we get to Mekhi, my guy. So part of my job, I have to talk to doctors every now and again, and I'm at work, and we're discussing something, and he's like, hey, are you a Jets fan? And I'm like, well, I don't think I sound like I'm crying on the other end of the phone here. And I'm like, yeah, I am. He was like, you call the beach, the Southern California guys, radio show. And I'm like, Long Beach Joe? He's like, yeah, that one. I'm like, I can neither confirm nor deny. I've called into the show. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, what do you mean that Zach Wilson isn't going to turn around the franchise? We drafted him second overall. I'm like, sir, I cannot have this conversation with you right now. If you want to go out in the hallway, we can have it. So I just want to, I don't know how many of my coworkers are listening to this, but I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Well, salutes to them for listening. I always want to thank everyone that does listen and check me out. But listen, let me tell you something, Mickey. I tell everybody, the opinions you have on the show, people get after it. That guy that got after you, he's a savage. He listens up. Nobody is safe. I try to tell everybody. Nobody is safe, okay?
He's a big boy. He makes a lot of money. So he's a big boy. He makes a lot of money. So I'm like, yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. Yes, you got it.
That's what I'm talking about. Give me your thoughts about Mekhi Becton, man.
I don't think there's anything wrong with telling him he has to compete for his job. I mean, it's not like he's been, a Pro Bowl left tackle for us for like 6 seasons. He's only played X amount of games. We're not exactly pushing the playoffs with the past 2 years. Has he been here for 2 or 1? Well, we haven't exactly,
Yeah. It would have been his second year, but he got hurt this year. But, yeah, 2 years. Go ahead.
Okay. So, yeah, it's not like he's done an astounding job at the position already that is solidified. I mean, we really need to be looking at our entire roster and being like, listen, nothing's guaranteed for any of you guys. Until we start winning some AFC championships, some divisional titles or something, you're all going to have to work like your job's on the line. I don't think anyone on the roster, Zach included, should be complacent with their position because we're not winning like we're supposed to. So I think that's a great message to the team. Like, listen, you're getting paid millions to do your job. Like, you think you're the best player at your position? Prove it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. And like I said as well, we've been talking about this competition in every position. And to me, it seems like Sella and the rest of the coaching staff is setting a standard. They're going to have you go out there, fight, and compete. You're going to have to fight for your job. There's not going to be any easy kind of wins for you. You're going to earn every single thing you get here. And I can respect that because that helps turn around the culture that we all talked about that needed to be changed here. In the past, we've had guys that have just walked into positions, and even if they didn't perform well, they were still put out there on the field. And I think Sulla's going to change that now. That is not, that's a thing in the past now. You're going to come in here, you're going to compete, you're going to play hard, and you're going to win your position, or you're not going to be in that position. And that's just what's going to happen. Now, when you look at this from your opinion, from your standpoint, when you look at this competition between him and Fant, if they're both fully healthy, who do you think actually will win the left tackle position?
If they're both healthy, I would go with Becton. If there's any if it's like I would go with Becton just because, where we took him in the draft, his potential and everything like that. It wouldn't really, if Zach and, what's his name, Mike White were competing in the off season and they were both doing about the same and everything, you would go with Zach over Mike just because he was your second overall pick. So I would go with Becton if it was out of the two.
Yeah, I hear you there. Now, when you look at our offensive line, what do you think is our strongest player on our offensive line? Who do you think it is?
Maybe I say it's Fant. It's definitely not anyone on the right side of our I'm glad someone else said it because I'm like, yo, man, anyone who says the right side of our O-line is certified it off, the captain for Joe. I suited up. That was the side of the offensive line I was on when I was playing for the Jets. I lined up at right guard and right tackle. It cost me like a pre-made pizza. Come on.
Yeah.
I would say it's probably
that definitely needs to improve. Yeah. Okay. Elijah Vera Tucker, I definitely think is up there. But again, Fant had a phenomenal season, so I could see why you really like Fant. Would say Fant as well. He played well this season. He really did. He filled in very well at that left tackle spot. And there was a lot of questions. Now, you talked a little bit about that right side. There are some questions, like you said, right guard, right tackle. When you look at that right guard position, would you like to see us bring in maybe a Brandon Sheriff in free agency, or would you like to see us go the draft route and bring in a young guy? Maybe I know there's talk about Evan Neal possibly being there. Maybe he would be able to kind of slam into that guard position. A lot of people are talking about that. What would you like to do there?
Honestly, I kind of want us to stay. This is going to sound weird, and I'm actually going against my own philosophy when it comes to this, but I kind of want us to stay away from the offensive line in the first round for at least this draft. I think we've gone O-line for the past couple of years. And, I just don't like the idea of there being too many first 3-year guys on our offensive line with no real veteran presence there. So, Evan Neal, if they drafted him, I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't think he's going to be there. But I would rather us look for something in free agency just so there's a sense of, there's some guys that have been in the league, have had success at the position to kind of, talk to the younger players and be like, hey, I've been doing this, and let me show you how I do what I do. Yeah,
listen, Mekhi, I hear you. Again, there's some people talking about Brandon Sheriff, who's the guy that's going to be out there. We talked a little bit about, James Daniels as well. You don't like Brandon Sheriff at all?
No. And it's weird because anytime a offensive lineman becomes a free agent, I automatically think about him coming to the Jets. But, I think the guy from the BX, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. When he brought it up, I don't think, and Russ brought it up too. I don't think any of, this dude has not shown up every day for work and, an entire season, I don't think. He calls out a lot. And, if you work with someone that's constantly calling out of work, I had an emergency or whatever, yada, yada, granted it's injuries, or whatever. It's come on, man. I can't see us signing him to, $60 million and him playing, 10 games or something like that. I really don't want us to go the Sheriff route. I haven't really heard anything about James Daniels, to be honest with you. But, hey, I would prefer to go free agency, so maybe the people that are paid to look at these kind of things can find someone that, can play the position.
Yeah. No, I hear you there, Rusty. Now I hear you there, Mickey.
Hey,
now my final question for you. My final question for you before I let you go.
Wow.
My final question before I let you go there, Mickey, is, look, Tom Brady is gone. He has officially retired. Give me your thoughts about this, man. Are you happy to see him, go off into the sunset and not be in the NFL anymore?
So I've thought about Tom Brady retiring for the past 22 years. I thought about him retiring from professional football even before he was drafted into the NFL. I kind of wanted to stop playing football back when he was in high school. But over time, I'm being honest. You gotta look at things in your life, and you gotta am I angry because I'm projecting this onto other people, or is it something with me? And it's definitely something with me. So Tom, with 22 years, having Super Bowls, whatever. I mean, the ESPN will tell you every accolade he's ever had. To be honest with you, as a devout Jets fan, I'm not happy that he's retiring. If there was a word for you to be more than happy that I could think of right now, that would probably be it. I think it's maybe like a godsend or something. I think it's, it's more than enough time. It's a little bit of overkill. And it's just weird. I feel like it's one of those things where it's I'm actually not going to retire. I'm going to come back for the 23rd just to, really stick it to people. And, even if he retires, he's still going to go home to his wife. He's still going to go to his kids. It's not like he's going to start having a miserable life. He's still going to be Tom Brady. He's still going to be the GOAT. So, am I happy? The damage is already done.
All right. You know, I'll tell you what. Watching him with those Patriots dominate us for years. Again, I have nothing but respect for Tom, but I am glad that he is gone. That can now be put away for us, and we can move forward. We never have to hear about him again, at least throwing a ball in a live game. But again, he's
you're lying to yourself.
We
will still hear about him 20 years from now. He's never going to leave us. Don't do that to yourself.
He isn't. You're right.
Just because he's retiring. Come on now.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Listen, Mickey, I got to get back to these lines, my friend. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. You have yourself a good one, all right?
You too, boss. Take it easy.
All right, have a good one. Listen, you know, I'm trying to cheer myself up here. You know, after years and years of watching Tom Brady destroy the Jets, destroy everything in the AFC East for years, to torture us for years, I'm trying to feel good about him finally saying, you know what, I'm going to put the ball down and I'm going to move on. You know, we never have to hear about him again, kids. Not live, all right? That time is over. He's gone now. He can no longer affect our mentals. Everything that he's done is in the past. It's in the past. That's the best I can do. It's the best I can do. We're getting back to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We are taking all calls. We're talking offensive line. We're talking about everything, man. There's a lot of issues along this Jets offensive line. A lot of people that we could bring in to affect that right guard position, I'm telling you. All right, we talked about Brandon Sheriff tonight. Laken Tomlinson is out there as well. There's James Daniels. There's a lot of talk. Connor Williams is a guy that could be out there too. A lot of discussion about that. So we're going to continue to talk about that. Next, I'm going to my guy, Bill. Bill, I'm coming directly to you. Bill, salutes to you. I want to thank you for calling in tonight, Bill. Listen, Mekhi Becton going to be competing for that left tackle position, my friend. Give me your thoughts about it. Do you think he'll beat George Fant out and keep his starting left tackle position?
Oh, Joe, yeah. Becton, he's motivated. Yeah, I think he'll beat out Fant. I think he's committed to the franchise. Fant's number's a little high, and we could save some money getting rid of Fant. He played well on the left side. In the competition, if he loses that out, can I put him back on the right side? I see some other dudes have mentioned the same thing that I have seen. You can't let George Fant make decisions on the left side if he's one-on-one with a guy. Not so tough. He's on the right side, and he's got to figure out things. It seems like he has a challenge with that. So I don't. If he doesn't win that left tackle position, I'm not sure if they keep him for depth or if they cut him to save something under the cap. And look at what they're going to do on the right side, because I think Moses is obviously not the answer. So is that all about that right side?
Now, when you look at this, though, Bill, because, you're a super smart guy. When you look at this draft board, though, and you look at even in free agency, and you're looking at Mekhi Becton and his issue staying, healthy, do you think that affects the Jets' free agency and draft? Because it's almost like some Jets fans, I'm playing devil's advocate here, some Jets fans are saying, yeah, Mekhi's great when he's on the field, but he misses a lot of time. You might as well make sure that you have somebody that could be ready to go when he does, miss time. Is that something that you look at if you're the Jets general manager where you're saying, hey, I got to grab another tackle, or I have to grab a tackle in the draft so that when Mekhi goes down, I can plug somebody else in?
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. Obviously, he's showing he has a history of injuries. He has a history, they're talking about the weight. Even back on to Louisville, when you watch him in Louisville, one thing that I was concerned about is he always wants to throw guys around like he's ragdolling guys instead of just blocking guys. It's going to put a lot of stress on your joints. So he's been doing that for years in college. He's doing that now. Bigger, stronger guys, just get in front of a guy. You don't have to pick him up and throw him, but he insists on doing all that and shoving guys and extending himself. He's prone to injuries. So I think Joe Douglas understands all this. The guy's, he is an offensive line specialist. So, he understands that. So even if you have a situation where he wins out, you have to look to see who's coming up next behind him, because, like I said, you could keep Fant for insurance. You could cut him and save something under the cap. There are a lot of offensive talent on the line coming out for the draft, like you said. Free agency, you can pick up some guys, but it seems obvious that Joe wants to go with youth if he's going to get someone who's going to be there for the long haul. So, I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up big guy like I ever heard you guys talk about is Charles Cross, who is very solid coming out of the draft. I like him a lot. A lot of people have him as the third offensive lineman coming out. He's more of a traditional left tackle body type than the other two guys ahead of him who were a little bit more squatting, and maybe the more of the plus 300-pound offensive tackle guys who, are bigger guys. But this is a more athletic guy, more like a Fant frame. And I don't see why he couldn't put that guy on the right side for a couple of years. And he and Becton can, Becton has issues, can't stay. You could slide him over, and then worry about the right tackle from some other options down the road. So I think when you talk about the right guard, and I was talking to the guys about the right guard, I don't know why we're not looking at Duvernay Tardif. I mean, he played well. I thought the guy, he had a year off, so there's a little bit less mileage on his tires. And we didn't. I don't think we paid him last year. I think Kansas City paid him last year, so he was free last year. Why not give the guy another run? I thought he was acceptable, and he's a veteran. So even if, like to your point, you bring in you draft a center, which I'm all a fan for, bring him in. You have Vera Tucker on one side, who has a little bit of experience, but then you have Duvernay Tardif, who's got a lot of experience. He's a solid veteran who can kind of guide him along there, and then you're worried about the right side, because if you have Becton. Like I said, we're not putting Fant on the right side. Then maybe, like I said, you pick up in the draft a Charles Cross, or maybe you look at a veteran in the free agency. So it's going to be interesting to see. But I think Joe's going to have a plan. He's got a master plan. I think he's going to execute it. The guy's been focusing on the offensive line like never before, and I think he's going to continue to focus on. I mean, there's a couple of guys, practice squad guys who maybe a lot of people don't know, but a couple of guys on a practice squad offensive linemen who were solid guys in college. Those guys could surprise us. Those are a couple of names who could rise up and fill in some of those gaps that we're not even looking at. But, we'll see.
And I have a question about what you brought up, because you said, hey, you'd like to see LDT be brought back and put at that right tackle or right guard position, and you'd like to see us possibly take a center. So what are you doing with Connor McGovern? If we take a center, I'm pretty sure, let's say we take, Linderbaum, he's going to be starting there at center. You got Elijah Vera Tucker at, left guard. You got Fant or Mekhi Becton. Let's say Mekhi Becton at left tackle. You got Fant that you're probably going to put at right tackle. Then where are you sending McGovern to? Is he a guy that you're just going to put up into a backup role? Are you sliding him over, and having him compete with LDT for that right guard position? What are you doing there?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, what is? I don't know what the structure is for LDT. That's first contract. That's the biggest thing. I'm looking on over the cap, and it has him at like zero. So I don't know.
Well, he's going to be a free agent.
He's a free agent. But they gave him 2 more years, so maybe he had 2 void years on the contract with KC, so that's what that is. Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, the guy, he said he wanted to come to New York because he's going to have immediate playing time, so I'm assuming that's still something that he's interested in. The question is how much money are you going to pay the guy, and you're going to pay McGovern, $10 million to sit on the bench or be a backup? So, it's going to be the decision. It's like if they're going to keep, the LDT, can they keep McGovern? I mean, we have a lot of cap space. Do they want to just kind of keep the cap space and maybe not spend so much on free agency just so they have the guys who are on the team they know? That might make more sense than bringing in some guy from the outside who's got to get plugged into the system, right? You just pay your 2 guys. You pay your LDT, start him out there. McGovern, keep him as a swing guy and or rotational guy. And I mean, maybe that's more cost effective. Got a lot of cap space, so that could be an answer.
Okay. What are your thoughts about bringing in a guy like Brandon Sheriff? Is that a guy you'd be interested in free agency?
I'd be surprised to Joe to commit to a guy like that. I mean, he brought in Moses because he was cheap. He brought in LDT because he was cheap. So when he brings the veterans in, he's not bringing in guys with a lot of money, though. I mean, Connor with McGovern, when they signed that deal, that was like a shock. That was the 1 year. That was the year when they only signed 1-year deals, but they gave him a multi-year deal. And I'm not sure if that's going to taint the waters if that didn't work out. I mean, the guy, some people love him, some people kind of are questionable on him. But bringing like a Sheriff for that kind of salary, I don't know. I don't see that as Joe doing that kind of a move, especially for a guy as a guard where, he seems like he has a youth movement on the left side. I don't know if he wants to have a youth movement at center and then bring in a veteran at guard. But if you're bringing a veteran at guard, do you want to pay that much? I don't know. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like what he's done in the past.
Yeah. So when you look at this New York Jets now, going to the quarterback position, you look at this New York Jets coaching staff, they've got, they've moved on from Matt Cavanaugh. John Beck is gone as well. They won't be back in 2022. Do you think that Zach Wilson has the right people around him to help him succeed going forward, with Mike LaFleur and Rob Calabrese being the main two guys now, kind of end of the year?
Yeah, I never understood why they brought John Beck in. I mean, he was his coach in college, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, he taught him how to be a college quarterback and which is how to get drafted, which is fine. But, you know, to bring Beck, you know, he's not even plugged into the system. You have to teach him what you're trying to do from an offensive standpoint so he can teach, you know, but it's like Zach is being taught by his current quarterback coach. And it's like, seemed like there was too many cooks. I didn't understand what Beck was supposed to do in that role. So, I mean, I don't know if they brought him there to make it because Zach was going across the country to see him anyway. And they said, hey, let's just bring him over to save time and keep him in-house. But I never knew how that was going to work. So I'm more comfortable with this. Break it down, you know, just a couple of cooks in the kitchen, make it easy, have the same two guys telling him, and, you know, one guy in each ear, telling him what they want him to hear. Instead of four guys. Four guys seem crazy, man. I didn't understand that. Zach's a smart guy. He's a hard worker. But, you know, it just was wondering, like, who's he going to listen to? So hopefully this will expedite things. He was looking good at the end of the season. You could tell he's starting to get it. It was good that he had an opportunity to kind of sit down and watch some other guys kind of, you know, run quarterback to understand how things are going. And the guys that's doing the game, we all know that. That's the biggest thing about Zach is he's going to study. And so that opportunity for him to sit on the sidelines, study from some guys who played the game for a little bit. He had Flacco in there, and a lot of guys were excited about that. But having a guy who's been in that role before is very critical because Zach just absorbs everything. So now, at the end of the season, we saw that. And going forward, hopefully, you know, just with fewer guys speaking to him, hopefully he'll be at the next level.
Yeah, I mean, you're speaking absolute facts tonight. But, you know, let's give Bill a hand. He called in with some fire. He called in with some fire.
Appreciate it.
Give him a spot. Not too much. I do not pay y'all for that. I don't pay them that much for that, Bill. They went a little too overboard there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
you guys got to calm down.
You, though, like you guys talking about the receivers. So who do you like for the Jets in this draft for the receiver? Who you like? You're a London Drake guy.
I love London Drake. I love Drake London.
Drake London. They got him backwards.
Come on. You know, and I'm not a homer. You know, if a guy sucks, I told everybody Chuma Edoga sucked. Nobody wanted to listen to me. But, yeah, Drake London is the guy I think the Jets should target. I don't know exactly where we'll get him. Again, as free agency comes and then goes, I think that's a better way for us to formulate exactly what we'll be doing in the draft. But as of now, it's tough for me to say that we should go with a wide receiver early because I'm so focused on the offensive line. And I think a lot of people are really losing sight on that, and I don't know why, because Zach Wilson had a PCL injury this year because he was running for his life. He had They sacked Zach, I think it was 6 times in his first game against the Panthers. He got hit a bunch of times in Denver. There was a ton of sacks there. He got hit a bunch of times the first time we played New England. There was a bunch of sacks in that game. The second game against New England, I think, is the one that he actually jacked his PCL up. You cannot do that with a young quarterback. You can't have him taking shots like that. On top of the fact that we are literally supposed to look how the Niners look offensively and defensively. I don't know. A lot of people lose sight of that when they talk about this football team. That's literally how we're supposed to look. The Niners have a run-first offense. We have only rushed for over 100 yards. We only have 100-yard rusher this season. One time, and it was Michael Carter.
Wow.
We have 100-yard rusher. One this entire season. It was Michael Carter. I think it was against the Dolphins. Just once. That is not – we can't do that. The 27th ranked rushing offense in the league, we can't continue to have that. We have to have guys open up front. And I understand that a lot of people don't want to say, hey, don't spend premium picks on offensive linemen again. No, we need to, because this offensive line has been the issue for so long with this offense. Sam was getting smacked around and got jacked up because of the offensive line. Our offense has always struggled. When we've been good, guess what we had? An offensive line that protected the quarterback. We hid Mark Sanchez behind the offensive line. He was garbage. We had a great offensive line and a great running game, and they hit him.
Thank you.
And they got us to 2 AFC championships. And no one wants to pour into the offensive line anymore. I don't understand it, Bill. But it's just tough for me to go Drake London. Go ahead.
From your perspective, you hear everyone's talking to you. Yeah, everyone's talking to you. You're hearing everyone's opinions. I'm with you. You build from the inside out. You build from the trenches. Where else are guys wanting to put these draft picks? Like, what do they want to spend it on in the first round?
Bill, I have had people call in and say they want a safety. I'm not lying to you, Bill. I have had people literally call in and say that we should draft a safety. I'm not lying to you.
Kyle Hamilton. Right. They want to draft the guy to know that. That's crazy.
I've gone back and forth, and again, I'm not disrespecting. I love all Jets fans. I'm a Jets fan. You know, I'm a regular guy. We go back and forth, but when you look at this team, there is no way that you can be talking about drafting a safety. But I've had people argue that with me, Bill. I've had people say that we need a safety more than the offensive lineman. Yep, I'm telling you. I've had people say, well, if you had Ed Reed, the defense would be better. No, you need a pass rusher. That's what you need. But nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to, it is what it is, Bill. But listen, I got to get back to these lines. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it. I was going to say it's because we didn't have Lawson last year, so everyone forgets where's the pass rusher? We need all these other things. Our main pass rusher was hurt. That affects everything. But we shall see. Hopefully get edge early in the draft this year. We'd be good to go with two guys, Lawson and whoever we draft in the first round.
Exactly, because that's how the Niners defense is built. You can't really name any of the guys in their secondary. It's all about pressure up front. That's how this offense or defenses are built around the league. It's a passing league.
No, you're right.
Talk about safety. Like, come on. It's a passing league. We talk about safety. Like, come on. All right. Listen, Bill, I want to thank you for calling in, man. I got to get back on these lines. They are hot. You have yourself a good one. Next time I have my show, I want to hear from you, man.
All right, man. You're the man. Take care.
Thank you. Have a good one. Passing league, we're talking about safeties. Like, I get it. Hamilton's a great safety. But we need so much more. We need a pass rusher, and we need offensive linemen. I'm going to keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. The lines are hot. We're going to get to everybody. Please be patient. Next, I'm going to my guy, Monty. Monty is called in. Steve, we'll get to you next. Monty is on the line. He's been on the line.
What's up? What's good with you? It's been a minute, Joey. It's been a minute, man.
It has.
How you been?
It has.
How you been?
I've been all right. I've been battling. We've been having shows and been going on. I have been battling with a lot of people talking about what the New York Jets need. And here we are, Monty. We're talking offensive line. Mekhi Becton competing for that left tackle position. That's what Robert Saleh says. Give me your thoughts on it, man.
Yeah. Hey, that's what you need. You need competition to make people better. You need competition to raise the level of your team. And I have no problem with that. People competing for their jobs, because that means that you finally have enough talent on the team to make people accountable for their positions and winning their positions. And that I have no problem with that whatsoever. And I'm glad that we now have a head coach who is holding these guys accountable and not just giving them that position. I don't know about Robert Saleh being, a great coach or anything, but I've been waiting for a long time for a coach to say, look, you have to earn your spot on this team. And, hey, I have no issue with it, man. I have no issue whatsoever.
Yeah. So when you look at this situation, if George Fant is fully healthy and Mekhi Becton is fully healthy, who do you have winning that left tackle position?
You have to go with Mekhi Becton. Joe Douglas invested a fourth, or not fourth. What was he drafted? A high draft pick for Mekhi Becton, and that was that's his baby. So you're going to give him all the opportunity in the world to go out there and win the job. So if George Fant is healthy and Mekhi Becton is healthy, you have to go with Mekhi Becton. But George Fant has, played decent last year. And hey, look, man, I'm just happy that we're in this position to have, somebody battling with Mekhi Becton for the left tackle position. I'm happy about it, Joe. It's about time, man. It's about time.
Yeah, I look at it like, again, competition at every position. I get it, but I'm telling you, when Becton is healthy,
that was your point.
I think he's going to take it.
We were going at it about Mekhi Becton, man. We were going at it about Becton. You were saying, hey, he's this, this guy, he's a all-pro, this, that, and the third. I'm
Here
like,
we go.
Joe, like, pump your brakes. Pump your brakes, Joe. Pump your brakes a little bit, man.
When healthy,
he's talented.
When healthy, Monty, he plays like an all-pro. Yes, he does. He does. When healthy, he's an elite left tackle. You can laugh, and you can do – I'm telling you, analysts – and again, I don't just go by any analyst out there. No, I go by the guys who have done it. Listen, Damian Woody was talking, listen, this kid is phenomenal. This is what I see in him. This is what I see in him. We watched him on a weekly basis. And Mekhi was out there again when he was healthy. He was out there throwing guys around. He was pancaking people. He was going crazy.
He has a lot of talent, Joe. I've never denied the talent of Mekhi Becton. But my thing is, you have to show it on the field. I don't care. It's like these guys running these 4.2, 4.3s. Like, I don't care that you run a 4.2, 4.3. You got to show me on the field that you're that fast. And Mekhi Becton just really hasn't shown us that he's this dominant left tackle, and he can bring it game in and game out. And that's why with the Jets, Joe, like, they have to find players who are going to be dogs each and every single week. And that's the only thing that I feel like is missing with the consistency. You'll have 1 week they'll come out and you'll see those flashes, and then the next 2 games you don't see it. They don't bring it. So if Mekhi Becton can just be consistent, be steady, and show that he can be that anchor left tackle, I think, man, we'll be in good really, really good position, man. We have a young core, and I think, especially going into this draft and free agency, you have to have the perfect mix of young players and veterans on the offensive line, because even though you might have talent as a young offensive lineman, you still need those veterans to teach you those tips and tricks and when the stadium gets a little loud, kind of calm everybody down and bring direction on the team. And it's going to be a critical free agency and draft for Joe Douglas. I'm looking forward to it, man. Joe, I thought they were only going to win 2 games this year, two or 1 games this year. Exactly, they surprised me. They won 4. They won 4 games, which is, I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing, but but they surprised me. They showed a lot of grit in some of the games towards the end of the season. A lot of development from Zach Wilson and Michael Carter and Bryce Hall. Finally, you're starting to see building blocks, and that's very, very important moving forward. Because I felt like we didn't have any type of building blocks, any good players, and this past draft has I'm a little excited, man. I'm a little excited moving forward.
Yeah, man. And you should be, because there's a lot to be shown. There's a lot of things that this draft class has shown, and one of the guys, Zach Wilson, he showed a little bit, especially as the season started to close. He really started to really show those flashes and take care of the ball. Now, there's been changes surrounding him with the coaching staff. Matt Cavanaugh, John Beck are gone. They're not going to come back next year. Now it's going to be LaFleur and Calabrese. It's going to be the guys in his ear. What are your thoughts about that? And do you think that we've surrounded him with the right people so that he can succeed and take the next step forward?
Yeah, I feel like we're putting the necessary pieces around Zach. We're not making any type of drastic changes. We're kind of tweaking the staff a little bit. LaFleur, he's a young offensive mind, and also Saleh, he's going into a second year, so they're learning on the job. They're learning on the job exactly with Zach Wilson. So you have to tweak things, but the foundation is still there. The direction is still there. You're not changing too much to where you're overwhelming Zach Wilson. And I'm happy that we didn't make any type of crazy changes. Just stick with the plan, tweak it a little bit, and just move forward. Now, in the draft, I have one guy in mind, and I'm a big Ohio State fan. If we don't get Garrett Wilson with that 10 pick, Joe, like, I'm gonna be very, very upset. The Jets need some blue chip type talent on the team. And Garrett Wilson, I'm telling you, if you've ever watched that guy, This dude is phenomenal. Deep ball, on the deep ball, yards after the catch. You have to grab a guy that has that ability and to change the game. We don't have that on this team. Elijah Moore is really good. Like, I like him. But he's not a number one. I don't even think he's a number two. I think he's a slot receiver. Now, Denzel Mims, I don't know what's going to happen with him, but he's shown that he's
I think
talent.
He's gone.
Oh no,
it's
too quick.
Mims is gone,
it's too quick.
To be honest with
it's too quick.
Dude, listen. We all love Denzel Mims. We were down 3 wide receivers the last couple of games, and Denzel Mims barely saw the field. He got next to no catches, no opportunities, no nothing. In my opinion, he's gone. And they're going to find some way to either trade him or cut him or something, or else he's going to be on the bench again next season. There was a lot of talk about him not knowing the playbook. He was on the team the entire year and still saw nothing. So he didn't get the playbook the entire year. Like, he doesn't. Yeah. When are we ever going to see it? So that's my take on that, Monty. Like, it is what it is. I'll give you the last word. Go ahead.
That's just totally unfortunate. Like, I've seen a lot of talent with him, but yeah, man, like I think we have to upgrade the talent on this team drastically in free agency and in this draft. And I feel like Garrett Wilson is one of those players that can solidify a position that's been average, and he can make it above average. And that's all I have to say, Joe. It's been a minute since I called. I'm glad everybody is doing, hopefully your family's doing well with you, man. I love hearing from you, man. Peace.
Thank you so much. You have a good one. I hope everything's good with you, Monty. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you. All right, my friend?
All right.
All right, you have a good one, man. Listen, Monty, call in. Monty knows his stuff. We're going to keep getting to these lines. Again, 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers. Next, I'm going to my guy, Steve. Steve is on the line. We've had quite a bit of callers tonight. Steve knows his Jets. He knows his stuff. Salutes to you, Steve. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Steve, give me your thoughts about what's going on with Mekhi Becton. Do you think it's fair that he has to compete for the left tackle starting position, man?
Hey, Joe. Well, first off, it's great to hear from you, man, again. Listen, it's understandable of why Mekhi Becton has to compete, because apparently he wasn't really fully into shape after the injury that happened to him back in week 1 against Carolina. And with George Fant coming off a very good season at the position when he took over after Becton was gone for the year, George Fant did a good job. And I think Salah's doing the right thing by having competition there with him and Mekhi Becton. I mean, listen, I said this before again, and I will say it again. Anybody who watched that first game of the year against Carolina, when Becton got hurt, it was Greg Van Roten's fault. I don't care what Jet fans will say to me. Greg Van Roten was the reason why Becton got hurt, period.
Yeah, you're talking absolute facts, and I think a lot of Jets fans, often when they talk about this issue this year with him getting injured, they forget that part. It's like, hey, he got thrown into, or Greg Van Roten got thrown into the back of him. That's how he dislocated that kneecap. That's how he ended up having arthroscopic surgery to clean up some knee cartilage and all that stuff that was going on. Anybody would have got hurt in that situation. Now, if he was just walking around a facility and just dislocated his kneecap, that'd be one thing, but that is not what happened there. So when you look at this offensive line, though, Steve, George Fant, Mekhi Becton, they're competing for that left tackle position. Who do you think is the strongest offensive lineman that we have on this line? Is it Mekhi Becton? Is it Elijah Vera-Tucker? Is it George Fant? Who for you is the guy?
No, as of right now, listen, if Becton was healthy, I would say Becton. But if I had to pick right now, it would be Elijah Vera-Tucker, without a doubt. Because I think Vera-Tucker, honestly, was the best offensive lineman we had on the team last year. And he was a rookie, and he's going to have a big future for us.
You're talking that talk, Steve. You're speaking facts. Now, when you look at the right side of this line, there's a lot to be desired there, Steve. And there's some guys that are going into free agency. LDT is a guy that could walk away. There's some other guys in free agency as well. Brandon Sheriff is a guy that people are talking about bringing in. How do you think the New York Jets should handle the right guard position? Would you go after Brandon Sheriff? Are there guys in the draft that you like to take? What would you like to have happen there?
No, honestly, we got to see what happens. I mean, I think Brandon Sheriff is a little too old, unfortunately, and he's not really the player he used to be. I wouldn't mind if we went younger at the position, like if we went someone in the draft or maybe someone else in free agency, but we'll see what the Jets do.
Yeah. So my final question before I let you go, Steve, is when you look at the New York Jets quarterback position, Matt Cavanaugh, John Beck, they're gone. Do you think that we have the right people around Zach Wilson and Mike LaFleur and Rob Calabrese to help him take the next step forward? Do you think we have the right coaches in place?
No, this is finally, Joe, a coaching staff that I do trust, because the previous coaching staff have always been terrible. Because the reason why we haven't been good in the last recent years is because of coaching. And I guess the one last thing I'll just say before I go is, because I know you're mentioning to fans about Tom Brady. Listen, as much as I'm happy that Brady is gone and that he won't be torturing the Jets anymore, I'm going to say this about Tom Brady. He was the best quarterback that ever played the game, and he is going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you're talking that talk, Steve. I'll give you. Let's give Steve a hand, man. Let's give Steve a hand. You talk that talk. All right. Again, y'all doing a little too much. I don't pay y'all for that. Just a couple seconds, and then shut it down. I don't pay y'all for all the claps. Too many claps. Y'all just clapping for free. I'm not going to pay you that much. But listen, Steve, you talked that talk tonight, man. You really talked that talk, and you're right. Tom Brady, again, we can't stand him. He worked us over quite a bit when he was in that Patriots uniform, and then he was able to go elsewhere and win. But he's one of the greatest to ever do it, the greatest to ever do it, and he definitely is going into the Hall of Fame, Steve. You brought some fire tonight, my friend. You really, really did.
All right, Joe. Thank you so much, man. Have a good night.
All right, Sammy, you have a good one. So you called in. He spoke his mind, man. Salutes to Steve. Salutes to him. So, man, we're going to go ahead and close out the show tonight. This has been phenomenal. We've had a lot of callers, a lot of heat being spit. This offensive line, this is going to be big. Us shoring this up and finding a way to figure things out here and ensure that we properly protect our young quarterback is going to be gigantic in the progression of Zach Wilson. Because if you keep getting hit and you keep taking shots and you keep having issues with your PCL, you're not going to grow. You know what I'm saying? So this is huge. And it's also huge as well, shoring up the offensive line for our running game. All right? We run, I don't know if people know this, we run a run-first offense. What it is, that's what the Niners do. They're run-first. They have a ton of backs. You barely know who they are. If they were walking down the street, you wouldn't even know what most of these Niners running backs look like. You wouldn't even be able to know their names. But they're running for a ton of yards over there, and they're getting places doing that. They're competing in the playoffs. They're pushing, to win, to be in positions to win Super Bowls. They're going to continuously do that because their running game is so dominant over there. And we've got to develop something like that here, and it starts up front. They got Trent Williams over there with the Niners. They got other great offensive linemen. We have to do something like that here. We have to fortify our front and protect, man. We got to do that. We got to do that. Salute to GVH. GVH says, well done, LBJ, a true man of the people. Salutes to you, my friend. And again, salutes to all the savages, man. Salutes to y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and go and close out the show. Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I am also on Twitter as well at YoungJ000. Again, YoungJ000. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You want to troll me? No issues. I am the troll that lives under the bridge. And let me tell you something. I will have my Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. At all times. I'm just saying, Mekhi Becton was injured this year. Right? If you want to look at the Jets' offensive line and you want to say, hey, who's the strongest offensive lineman that we have? Who's the best? It's kind of hard not to say Elijah Vera Tucker. Just saying, And when you say Elijah Vera Tucker, you got to say that these USC guys are taking over. Fight on. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I'm not saying much, but, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So So you go ahead and troll me. I'll troll you right back on there as well. The show's page is at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe. All right, go ahead and follow that page. I'll follow you right back. And, again, we can go back and forth and talk about the Jets and all that stuff. And if you want to check out all of my content and watch the show live, I'm on YouTube as well, okay? Go to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Hit that subscription button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that when I post content, you folks will be in the know. All right? And if you want to troll me over there, no issues, I'll troll you right back too. Go ahead and comment. I'll comment back, and we'll go back and forth, all right? And I'll troll you in the comments, no issues whatsoever. And as always, people, when you see me in person, it is arms out, chest open, free hugs for everyone. Free hugs for everyone that will cost you absolutely nothing. I want to thank you folks for taking the time out of your day to listen and call into the show. Without you people, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you again for calling in and taking the time to listen to the show. You folks are the absolute greatest, all right? You folks have a good one. Peace.